Hi everyone, Stuart Hayden here, founder of Storm Beach, specialising in authentic leadership. And today I'm out and about, as you can tell, on a wonderful summer's day here on the real Storm Beach. And I'm reflecting on a conference that I spoke at a couple of weeks ago, and I met someone there called Anthony McCann, and he presented some of his recent work in the European Mentoring and Coaching Conference, the research conference. And two things really struck out for me from what Anthony was describing, and I've been in touch with Anthony since, and I'm going to be in touch with him again to do an interview, so to go into some of these principles in more detail. But just as a snapshot, really, there's two things that really struck me in his work. He talked a lot about gentleness in coaching, and then he went on to talk about presence, and he just gave a bit more precision to what presence really means and what presence is and what it feels like. And it's two things, and he admitted to making up two words here, but he talked about it being Hereness and withness, so here and with, really. And I think that's a wonderful just definition. Again, so many times you need a couple of things to kind of help you give direction. So are you here, are you with? So are you here, are you being here with the people around you, the work around you, the environment around you? So you're being here. And are you being with? Are you being with the people who you're with? Are you being with your work? And there's those two aspects of being here, recognizing where you are. So, right now I'm here really present to shoot this vlog, and am I being with? Am I being with it? Am I being with the environment? I certainly am today, because I'm having to take into account the bright sunshine and everything else, but that just creates that real grounded presence, that real sort of soul and spirit. I just love that. Then the second aspect that Anthony McCann talked about, which was really fascinating, and he's got some super clever research. In fact, when he finished presenting, the guy sitting next to me said, "God, he's a super clever bloke, isn't he?" I was like, "Yep." But anyway, one of his research was, in terms of coaching, was things like, if you take two things. So he talked about, for example, intensity and uncertainty. Okay, so if you kind of imagine intensity, sort of a high and low, so this being high, this being low. So if you're having a coaching session, and for you and for the coachee it starts to get intense, then you're going to be, up here, the high. And what was really interesting is other factors are correlated. So if you have a high here, you have a high elsewhere. So for example, uncertainty. So same principle. If you have uncertainty, high and low, if the intensity is increasing or is high, then so is the uncertainty. Not one single factor happening at the same time. So it was really interesting for me, because sometimes I come away going, that was a really intense session. Well, now I know it was also intense. If it was high in intensity, it was also high in uncertainty. Flip side, there was a lot of uncertainty during that session. That means it was also intense. So it's a wonderful correlation. Just be really precise and skillful as to what's going on. So if you're sensing some of that sort of uncertainty or intensity, then be aware that probably more than one thing, and other factors are going to kick in as well. And of course, then we need to kind of manage that. Okay, let's go with that intensity, uncertainty. But bearing in mind, we've got at least two things now. Therefore, we can't stay there too long. That'll wear us out. That'll drain us. We need to come back and sort of bring that intensity and uncertainty down. This could be minutes or seconds. Go again, up again, down, or whatever it might be. So some fantastic stuff there. So thank you to Anthony McCann for that. I will be interviewing him over the summer, so I'll have a good chance to kind of go into much more depth. And I'm sure he'll do a better job than me of describing some of his great principles.